Good morning, YouTube. It's a marvelous day in Texas today. I just had so much fun out running this morning. It was 65 degrees early this morning and uh, had a little bit of rain last night, but it was gone in time for me to make my run. And it was just marvelous. The freshness in the air from the raindrops coming down and the way the leaves on the trees look, and still got the drops of rain on the leaves and on the leaves of the plants and the rose bushes and the flowers, little tiny dewdrops on them, and it just reminds me of the dewdrops that are just continually coming upon us from omnipotent mind, and I just recall when I see that just how marvelous is omnipotent, infinite mind, our infinite source, our divine mind that we're one with, to just continually to send in and drop in like raindrops, more and more beautiful, wonderful ideas. And as I was out running, I just receive in, just take a deep breath, breathe in that oxygen, and know that with every breath of that oxygen, more joy and peace and happiness that is infinite in every inch of space is coming into my body and flowing in. And I breathe in spiritually that joy and that peace and that happiness, just like I breathe in that oxygen from the air, and it's just so marvelous. And then just imagine what that oxygen is doing for the cells, and how it's perking up the brain and all that kind of thing it's doing. Well, that's the same thing that breathing in all these thoughts that are being sent to us from infinite mind does to our spiritual life, to our immortality, to the recognition of our immortality, to the enjoyment of our immortality. We have that immortality, but we don't enjoy it because we just close our eyes to it, and we look around and we say, "Oh, yeah, because I don't have this, that, and the other, God must not love me, and so I have a reason to be sad or angry or something." And so by that we just put aside our real immortality, and our real joy and happiness is really coming down on us every day, and is everywhere in every inch of space of the earth. And we just put that all aside, all those beautiful things, and just think about, well, this one particular thing over here I don't have that I want, and so because I haven't yet been able to manifest that, I just won't be happy. Well, that's exactly the opposite way to go. The more that you will just drink in those thoughts of God, the more the law of attraction will work for you and bring every abundant thing that you want. And the things that you already have, you'll enjoy it 1,000 times more. And so it's just a marvelous world we live in. And we've got a new age coming that we're in. That we have already entered into, where my infinite mind is just going to pour out all kinds of joy and happiness on us, so much more even than in the past. And it's just going to get marvelous. I mean, this is just going to be a marvelous century. The 21st century is, and as the years go by in this century, we're going to see marvelous things happening like we could have never even imagined. Oh, I mean, it's going to make the transition from the 19th century all through the 20th century. It's going to make that, what a marvelous transition that was, as far as innovation and manufacturing and all that type of thing, and technology. But 21st century, going from the 21st to the 22nd, is just going to make that look like it's nothing but a grain of sand compared to the sun. It's just going to be, it's not even going to be compared with what we're going to see as far as technology is just going to take off, and people's inventive power is going to increase, because when you raise your consciousness, all your creativity and your inventive power just perks up and just comes alive, and everything just begins to sparkle for you. And so we really need to get our minds on this new earth that is coming down, and begin to rejoice about it. You need to rejoice about it coming, so you can enjoy it right now, and then you'll get the energy to aid in bringing it. And so we need to do that. We need to begin to just think what all I have to be grateful for, and what all that I see coming, and what all these wonderful programs like Tanya Love, and she's ready to go this morning with some marvelous things for us this morning. She's going to be talking about living authentically. This is we had one show a year or so ago about living authentically, which I played, but this one's another one. I think the other one was how to live authentically, but this one's just living authentically. And we can never get enough of that. We need to live authentically. And as we begin to receive all these thoughts from immortal mind, from divine mind, it'll enable us to live authentically. And we can really do that. We can really be free. We can be on top of things, and we can be authentic in our immortality. We are immortal, but we don't live authentically because we don't live out our immortality. When we don't go around having joy and happiness and peace and love and expressing that, we're not living authentically, because that's not what we are. We are actually divine beings. We're actually immortal beings, and when we don't live that out, then there's no real authentic nature showing itself. It's just the old lack nature. The old I lack joy, I lack happiness, I lack energy, I lack everything because I don't have it, because I haven't bothered to take the time to draw upon it. It's just like a mighty hose, fire hose, just shooting out water into a fire. The rate that it shoots it out, and we say, well, I need a little bit of water, but I'm just not going to go in and stand in front of the hose. I'm just not going to get in front of that force. Infinite mind is shooting out all of this wonderful joy and realization of immortality with the same pressure that a fire hose shoots out that water. Just like it's shooting it out, just like at Niagara. It's just like us getting under Niagara Falls. All that force is coming down, but we'll say, well, I would like to get a little bit wet, but I don't even want to. If I get wet, I just like to just get it wet on maybe the end of my finger or something like that. And so I won't get down there really in the water, or I won't get in front of the hose. If it's a garden hose, if I'm thirsty, I just won't get in front of I won't put the hose to my mouth. I won't get in front of it. And so we're not going to get wet. We're not going to get our drink. And so we need to realize that it is pouring forth. And don't just put a little bit of yourself in it. Get in front of it and let it pour all over you. Let it pour out. To raise your soul to it and say, I'm going to put my whole soul and heart and mind into receiving what divine mind has for me. And we know that and we need to go over and realize that divine mind, love, source, that is the source of all the love we feel. The love we feel for each other and all comes from that source. Comes from our source. Comes from divine mind, infinite mind, and the joy, any joy that we feel over having a party or whatever it is, that comes from infinite mind. All things, all of our health and everything else, and the infinite mind is just pouring these things out, and infinite mind is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient, all present, all knowing, all present, and all powerful. And so if we're not receiving all that is all powerful and all knowing and all present, then it's not that it's not all present, it's that our mind is not all present with it. Our conscious mind, our real mind, our real self, our real infinite mind, which is one from the infinite mind, it is present with it, but we are allowed to draw our conscious mind off into all these minor details and mundane things that are going on in this world, and we're allowed to somehow or another, don't ask me why, but infinite mind, God has decided to let us think about lack. He said, well, if you really want to think about lack, I poured out all this abundance, and even Jesus said, I come to give you life and that more abundantly, and ask what you want, and it shall be done. But if you want, despite all that, if you want to go ahead and think like these thoughts of lack, I'll let you do it, but you're going to receive the results of it in your life. And if you want to think unhappy thoughts, and if you most of the time, all of our unhappy thoughts, that's what it's coming from. All of our unhappy thoughts and all of our worry and our fear and everything, most of it all is coming from lack. You just stop and think about, I don't have the money to pay this bill, and so I'm afraid what's going to happen. I'm afraid terrible sickness, something's going to come upon me. I lack health. I lack energy. I lack this. I just don't have the energy to go out and make the money I need to make to buy the things I need to buy. just lack. I lack. I lack. Whereas, and so God somehow or another, He says, well, go ahead and think that, and so you're just going to receive the result of it. But it is all available. And there's more available than we have time. That's what the interesting thing it is that you discover. There's more abundance and happiness and joy and everything else available than we even have time in 100 years that we are here. Most of us are here on Earth to enjoy. There's more than we would ever have time to enjoy in 100,000 years. It's already available and already here. And so why do we not take a few more minutes in our day to enjoy these things and to become aware of them, since there's more than we could ever. There's no reason to get into lack and to start fearing and saying I lack this, when there's more than you can enjoy in 100,000 years already available, and it's in every inch of space, the omnipotent power of God. And He's already told you all these things. And so we need to just really get ourselves into that. That's a raising our frequency. Esther and Jerry Hicks and Tanya Love and all the others tell us, raise your frequency. And you don't raise your frequency just by going around just moving your hands and your arms and everything all just real fast and just getting in a nervous state and running and trying to accomplish everything by just hurrying by a physical force. I'm just gonna get all this stuff done just by my own physical force, just running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and all nervous and excited and getting all stressed out. You're not going to get that raised frequency like that. The only way you're going to get that raised frequency is to get still, be real still, and say, I'm going to put aside any thought that I have of lack, any thought I have of fear, any thought I have that anything bad might come, or any accident or anything else. I'm just going to put that aside for at least 20 minutes. And all I'm going to think about is thoughts of abundance. And there's so many affirmations. I mean, there's affirmations on all kinds of channels on YouTube. Tanya Love gives them. I give them. We all give them. And there's books on affirmations. And just take these affirmations and just say, well, for this 20-minute period, you can do that for 20 minutes. This 20-minute period, I'm just going to think only these affirmations. And that raises your frequency. When you do that, that raises your frequency. And then you're able to begin to it begins to raise your spiritual vision, and begins to raise your ability to see how omnipotent and omnipresent infinite mind, the divine mind source is. That's how we get to where we can see these things. I didn't get to where I could see all these things just by running around as fast as I can, move my arms and legs. Even though I do that too, I do that for exercise. I do that because just for the enjoyment of moving and exercise, but I do it in a planned way. I do it in a way that is the best for my health. I decide how many miles I'm going to run, how many push-ups I'm going to do, how many weights I'm going to lift, and how much is just exactly what I need to increase my muscles or increase my oxygen to my brain, exactly the right level to balance me. And that way it's all for my benefit, and it's all by design. We need to design our movements. And before we go moving in order to accomplish anything, making money or anything else, we need to stop, get a blueprint down. I'm going to do this the smart way. This is how I'm going to do it the intelligent way. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to do it in a way that will aid my health. I'm going to get involved in something that is going to raise my level of awareness, something that's going to raise you're going to exercise me in just the right way and not stress me out. And so then by doing those things and then having that 20-minute period of meditation where you get your mind on nothing but infinite mind and infinite thought, that's how you get to understand these things. And so we need to really listen to more programs like Tanya Love. I'm going to be listening to her this morning like I do every morning for breakfast, and just soak that in. Just imagine that the words that she's saying is just coming down like the rain, and the ground is parched and dry. And just imagine your brain just getting all parched and dry, and just like a dry sponge, all wringed out, and you just think you're just dying for what divine, for spiritual, dying for a spiritual thought. And then she comes on and tells you these things, and you just listen and draw and soak that all in. And so we're going to be doing that in a little bit.